Hello and welcome back to the show. I am your host, Kim Guillory, and my guest today is Jade DesHotel. Jade has been a student for a few months now. It's not really that long, but she is
Yeah.
a hometown girl. She is the same age as my children and graduated from the school that I graduated in, just to say. And she came in as an art student or art client, I'll
hmm
say. And I want her to tell her story. So I'm not going to spill the beans, but I just want you to know that Jade is local and came in with the same story that a lot of you guys who are listening have about possibilities and dreams and desires. Jade, just tell us about you and let's just talk about coaching and your experience, where you started and
hmm
where you are now. I'm going to let you just have the show. I'll guide you in some questions. I
Okay.
want you just to have a place to creatively express. Sound cool?
Okay. Cool. I have been a professional artist, I would say officially for a year now, but I've been selling my art for quite a long time. Like even as a kid, I would sell a few little things here and there. So I've been creative my whole life. But when I was a kid, I was told that I couldn't make it as an artist. It was like the starving artist mentality. So I sort of took that as gospel when I was a child. My three options were like, I want to be an artist, an astronaut, or a paleontologist. And I was like, well, artist is out, I guess. And I didn't realize at the time like how much that actually hurt me because subconsciously I think I process like no one would want to buy your art or like you wouldn't be a good enough artist for people to support you or you know what I'm saying? So it's like that it was just like impossible for me to even consider that. But I think that little dream was still alive because when I went to LSU for college, I started out in photography and interior design. And then my studio art professor told me that my art wasn't real art. So that was like the second hit for me, right? And so I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to toss in the towel in this art thing and I'm going to go into the sciences. So I was like, well, I guess I'll go to medical school. And that's eventually what I did. And over the years, I started feeling just so empty. I struggled with suicidal depression. I struggled with anxiety and just like chronic illnesses. And today I look back at that and I say it was because I was so out of alignment with my soul and with my purpose. After just feeling that emptiness for years, I sat down one day and I just asked, where is this emptiness coming from? And I just got really quiet. And eventually a little voice said, like through the tears, where's your creativity? Where'd you put it? And it hit me really hard. And so in that moment, I was like, okay, like, yeah, I have to go to more operas. I have to go to more plays. Like, I want to infuse more art into my life. And then I decided, well, I'm just do some watercolors for fun. I'll just play and have a creative outlet. And then I started doing that for several weeks and I was like, that actually feels really good. Like, and I am pretty good at it. So I started taking little online art courses here and there and sold some of my drawings from those little art courses for like $300-400. And it started to really sink in like, maybe I could do this. Maybe this is possible. But I didn't commit to it yet. I was just like, yeah, no, no, no. Like, don't go there. And then, yeah, so I just kept drawing and I thought to myself, like, I just need a mentor or someone, like to help me. And then a week later is when I saw an ad for my art program. And she said, you need an art mentor. And I was like, yes, I do. As soon as that happened, I knew I had to sign up. And 2.5 years later, here I am, and I'm a professional artist. And I say that, and it doesn't quite feel real to me, but it feels so right to me. But even with all that training and support that I got, my institute was wonderful. I felt like I needed more one-on-one time. But that's when I started talking to you and Mallory was just like, yeah, come on, like just see what Kim can do for you. And I think that one-on-one time and just working with you guys and like working on the little threads that were still hooking me, those little things in my mindset that were still sabotaging me, that has been the most valuable to me. Just like restructuring the way I look at my life, the way I look at my capabilities, and the way I look at business. So,
Amazing. So let me get a little timeline on this. There were some years you were missing. So from my life, like I
Yeah.
know you're a neighbor and like the going to school and stuff, but I remember seeing you doing yoga. That's when I took an interest and, reached out and started connecting with you. And you were coming back to the area, but you weren't in the area. So I was like, where is
Mhm.
she?
Yeah.
So how many years? So how old are you now?
35.
35. And whenever you were at LSU and you put the art away, how old were you?
I was like 18 or 19. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a good 15-year gap in between
Mhm.
there, and this is where the lostness and the void and the emptiness was, yeah?
Yeah.
So you went from LSU, and then what did you do in that middle space before finding art again? And I know where you are
Mhm.
now, and we're gonna talk about that, the beauty of coaching and mentorship and where you are today. But
Mhm.
can you fill that in just for me personally?
Yeah. I studied a lot of things at LSU because you know this, Kim. Like growing up in a small town, you're not presented with a whole lot of options. If you go to school, you're probably going to be a nurse or a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. I didn't know what was even possible for me. So I jumped around a lot in my courses. I went the pre-med route. So I was planning on going to medical school, but I still had a lot of electives in like the arts and the languages, all those things. Then when I started taking, like, my pharmacology classes my senior year, I was like, I don't think, like, conventional medicine is the way for me. I don't think I wanna do that." And so I went to UL in Lafayette, and I got a bachelor's in dietetics and nutrition. I was like, "I'm gonna help people with nutrition." Because I was going through my own healing journey through that time, and my husband and I at the time were getting healthier, we were exercising more, eating better, and we were seeing the differences in that aspect. So I was like, "No, like this is the way." And I don't know what I think I was searching for something. I was searching for something deeper. And then I decided to go into naturopathic medicine. I went and I studied that at Bastyr University in Seattle, Washington, and loved the program. I mean, it was great, but I honestly couldn't even finish it because I developed this chronic illness. And on top of all the things I was already experiencing, like the depression and everything else. And I know that part of it was my emotional state. I had like severe chronic rashes. My liver was going into failure and I just had to take a sabbatical. And I had to get really clear on what is it that I want to do with my life? Like how do I want to spend the rest of my days? And this whole time, I was treating myself with yoga, with meditation, with energy work, with nutrition, all of these things, and they were helping tremendously, but something was still not clicking for me, and that was because I was completely denying myself my own creativity. I was just like, "No, there's no use I even draw. There's no use I even doodle. Nope." It just wasn't an option. It wasn't until I really worked on my emotions, I really went within myself and sort of released all of these limiting beliefs and just went for it that I actually really healed.
The power of rejection. Shit.
I know.
Same with me. My entire life, I've been like a weirdo because I'm getting to the deep, dark depths of like all this healing stuff. And
Mhm,
I don't know where I got that from. I wasn't brought up in that kind of family. I
mm.
just like always searched, was looking for it and understood something. It's almost like I shouldn't have understood it. Or did you feel that way about art? Like I shouldn't be able to do this? Like, how can I do this? I don't know why I want to do this. Like, where is this? It feels like a
Yeah.
summoning is the word that I use. Like I'm summoned into this, like this godlike force. There's this summoning that makes no logical sense. And that's where I rejected it so much. And so many of my clients, like you were saying the same thing. And it's weird. I wonder if we attract the rejection because we don't understand it and can't believe it, that we literally bring that in. We attract that part of us to the
Yeah.
degree that we agree. Does that
I
make
I
sense?
do
Like,
believe I believe that. I believe that, like, the world is just a reflection of our inner world, right? And I've always believed that, but sometimes it's like we're blind to what's going on in our outer world because we haven't quite yet come to terms with what is going on inside of us. Because if I would've had a conviction that, like, "Of course I can do art, of course I'm creative, of course people want to buy my art," like, I probably wouldn't have had that reflection in my
mm.
professor at LSU, like, she was just mirroring to me. So once I decided I am absolutely capable of this and I make beautiful art, that's when I noticed that people are like I'm drawing people in like a magnet because I'm like, yeah, I'm here. I'm doing my thing, you know?
We attract the catalysts, almost like the catalysts to prove the disbelief that's within ourself because it's so painful. I just did some coaching calls on this and so painful, especially when it's people close to you or like
Mm,
here being local and no one really understanding what we're talking about. Like, not just in the middle of the Bible Belt, but just like topics that aren't mentioned or talked about here. It's just
right,
not. There's nothing
right.
wrong. My dad used to say I did yogurt instead of yoga. Like, that's what he thought the word.
Yeah,
Just like an innocent ignorance, of just not understanding. What are you doing over there? Why are you going to do all that? Like, what is that? And
right.
my immediate family, even now today, it's still like such a misunderstanding. And how that stops some people, but for others, it's the gas to get the hell out. What do you think that is about? Because you left, but then you took that with you. You didn't actually explore it. It was the rejection like capped off to where you were just like hell no and you weren't willing to look again, or had you distanced yourself from it so much that it didn't
Mhm.
erupt until the physical symptoms did?
Yeah, I think I pushed it down so much because, like, there was that subconscious pattern of believing that, like, "No, I can't do that. No, it's not practical. No, it doesn't make sense for me to do that because I can't make money off of it." Like, even if I were to wanna do it as a hobby, it's like, why are you wasting your time doing something that's not making you money? So it's like it was this whole weird web of, like, limiting beliefs that I just pushed down, and it's, like, built so much pressure that I just like, when you drop a Mentos in a Coke bottle, like, it was that kinda thing. It just exploded, you know?
Interesting. I haven't done that. What I think of is a beach ball and you're
Uh-huh.
holding it under the water because you're like
Yeah.
pressing it so much so, and it's just like using all your energy to hold it down.
Yeah.
So yours it was actually erupted into
Yeah.
a force having to do something else. Like, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you did go away and you tried exploring a few other things,
I
but they
did.
didn't give you the satisfaction. So let me ask you this. When you were doing art previously, were you trying to find that feeling again? Were you trying to that thing that you were told was wrong about or you couldn't have or it wouldn't turn into anything? Did did the emptiness come from having felt it so you now had the contrast and not being able to find it again because you had taken it away from yourself? Or was
I
it
think
just that I don't know what I want, empty void?
I think it was, like, when I started doing art again, like the watercolors and stuff, I had realized, I had a moment of clarity. I was like, I was sort of cutting myself off from a part of my soul
Mm.
because creative expression is a part of my soul. And I think I was just wired to do that, and I wasn't allowing myself. So it was like, I don't know, it was like I was trying to live with half of my heart or something, you know? And so once I started doing that again, it was like, "Oh my god, I feel like I'm living fully," even if it's just, like, doing watercolors, but I knew that, like, no, I wouldn't like, after a while, I wouldn't be fully satisfied with just doing it as a hobby, like, I had to, like, immerse myself in this, I had to be this thing. So, yeah, that's where it came from for me. It's like there was a fulfillment that came from it. I had to, like how should I say this? There was something I had to fulfill in this life. I guess that's the best way to say it.
That's the summoning I'm talking about. I'm like, damn, that
Yeah.
shit ain't going away. I tried drinking, drugs, like not street drugs, but
Yeah.
medications, or like I tried everything.
Yeah.
Can't kill this off. Like you can't
Yeah.
kill it. Like when I would kill it, it was like I
No.
was killed. Like it
Yeah,
was,
exactly. It's
I
a
was
part
dead.
of you.
Why don't everybody have that so they understand though? Like I don't get
I
that part.
don't
How
know.
did we end up in 70554 zip code with this?
Maybe we were meant to sort of lead by example. That's the only reason that I can come up with. I believe that there's, like, something within us that, like, puts us there for a reason, but I think people need to see that there's something else out there, need to be inspired, and no matter where you're coming from. And it's so funny because when I was doing yoga, I it felt really good. It felt really nourishing to me to help people heal. But so my instructor in my art university said, being an artist is not your purpose. Your purpose is something completely different. Your purpose is to bring healing or to do whatever. Art is just a vehicle through which you do it. And I was like, wow, that like changed my mind. So I I truly believe I'm still in like the healing profession, but the way that my soul wanted to express that and bring that out to the world is through art, because I'm a creative being in that way. People have come up to me and they've just burst into tears. They're like, this painting is like touching me in a way that I cannot explain to you. And they've like changed the course of their life from just seeing a painting. And I'm like, that is powerful. And I wasn't able to bring that magnitude of healing through yoga and meditation because I don't think I was wired to do that
Mm,
type of healing work.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So this is interesting on the part, like, so, I do business coaching, but I also do the mind body healing coaching. And if I get too businessy, like too much there, I start feeling this void and empty again because
Hmm.
the vehicle is like, yeah, I want to help them flourish and prosper. Like I do want to help them become empowered so that they can create the life that they want. And it is about healing money, but that's such voodoo, like healing money, money, money. It's so bad.
Hmm.
You're so selfish. All this stuff about money comes up. And I'm like, dude, we live on planet Earth. You can't even be born without money. You
Right.
would never have gotten here. But that resistance to that kind of like the resistance to art, the like understanding of it. So we're in a 70554 zip code. If you guys look it up, the median household income is like $24,000. And selling art or selling coaching at like you would say that that's high ticket and that it's optional. It's a luxury. Now they don't
Right.
count the purses and the shoes and the El Charros and this other stuff is that. But regardless, what I'm saying is we are in an environment where there is not a lot of money and we're selling this non-essential, yet it is essential to us being alive. And that's the conflict.
I've been thinking about that, and it is hard for me to sit with it because if you live in a place where there is very low median income, you're mostly in a state of survival, right? Like you're just trying to make ends meet. And I totally get that. Like I've been there plenty of times in my life. And I say, like, I provide a service that helps you thrive rather than survive. Yes, like we want you to survive, absolutely. Well, what now that you're surviving, how can you thrive? Like the coaching that you offer helps someone to thrive. Like the art that I provide transforms a space, it ignites you and it helps you to thrive, you know?
Mhm. Well, I love my art.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it has life in it. I mean, I show everyone. I'm always pulling up my social media and sending them to you. I've never had art. I've never
Hmm.
even looked or considered. I've played with art. Like I want to be an artist. I'm a
Yeah.
wannabe and
Yeah.
don't think I can be and have done a lot of amateur stuff. But I was just talking, I might go to art school. And love watching you. I love watching it come to life. Like it's mesmerizing. But when I got the art, I was like, it's like it has light. Like it's literally has life in it. Like it's not dead art.
Hmm.
It's like
Hmm.
and I love it. And so I can see how it's such a gift. I actually think coaching is an art because
Yeah.
I'm getting into these parts of the parts that they can't see in their mind and moving it around and
Yeah.
changing these pathways.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. I bet if they put gadgets on us, they would see that part of our brain light up
Yeah.
when I'm doing coaching and you're doing art. I'm willing to bet that that same thing and it's will and purpose,
Hmm.
like the will to live, the
Yeah.
will, like
Yeah.
and literal purpose. I am here for this. And it's going to take me to my next question on, and these are just opinions, guys. We have no data to back this up. We just work with a lot of people like us. And so we see this all the time and we are this our entire lives. My question from your observation, is it just that not everyone seeks it or has as strong of an ambition? Why do you think we feel like such an oddball that like I've tried to put this shit out. You can't put it out.
Mm-mm.
So why doesn't everyone experience that? Or are they not looking for it? Or like these are just opinions, but what do you think? I've spent a lot of time thinking about this.
I think there are some people out there who are truly satisfied with a very simple life. And like, I don't say simple as in like simpleton. I mean like simple life. Like you go to work, you leave your work there, you come home to your family. Like they want simple, quiet, and that's beautiful. If you want that and you're living that, that's awesome.
That's my husband.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous
That's
sometimes. I'm
my
like,
dad, you know? And, like, my
so
dad
disciplined and hardworking and satisfied. And I mean, I'm just like I'm like a 2-year-old lab. Blah, 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 like I'm just jumping around everywhere. And he's just like got this life,
yeah,
this ah,
yeah,
I want it. And then I feel like I'm gonna die if I have
yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, my dad's kinda that way. I asked him one day, I was like, "Dad, like, if you could do anything or, like, be anywhere, like, what would you wanna do?" And he was like, "I just wanna be at the camp and in the woods and be quiet and, like, be at peace." And I was like, I can, like, empathize with that because sometimes all I wanna do is just have silence and be in nature." And that's like he's passionate about that. He's passionate about music, and he's passionate about being quiet and being in nature. And I'm like, "That's awesome." People who are sort of wired like you and I are wired, like there's this drive, like we have to fulfill something and like we're not going, our soul is not going to be at peace unless that comes to fruition. There's people in between, sadly, who do have that
Mm.
dream and do have that drive, but they bought into the nonsense of it's not for me or I'm not capable. I hear so often in our hometown that I can't. Like even the little things, I can't do that. You know, I work in a physical therapist's office and no, 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 I can't do that. Yeah, well, let's just try. Let's try, you know, like let's see what's possible. And I think people cut themselves off from possibilities mostly because it's unknown. Like we're terrified of the unknown. We don't know what could happen. And so people avoid what's scary. Just
Yeah.
like people avoid being in the dark.
And I
And
wonder how many feel it and know it, but can't do it because they don't have the permission and they're
Mhm.
just well behaved. I want to be well behaved. I am, believe it or not, I'm a rule follower. And I want,
I have a hard time believing that, but it's okay.
I like, I want to be good and I want to do what's right. Like I really have a strong part of me, but
Mhm.
my soul is opposite of that. Like
Right.
it's like, oh no, I don't know who told you that, but that is, and so there's this conflict of two different worlds and most people don't get that and I was like, oh, you have no idea how painful it is when someone is upset with me or someone like
Yeah.
so I come off like a hard ass but I am so like tender and it's often misunderstood which makes it more painful because it's not validated. I just get the hard ass part and I'm like, I'm being a hard ass to help you, like there's a
Because I
reason
love you.
because I love you and I want to help you get this, you know. Anyway, so now I just preface with it because I've learned that it was an aloof arrogance, you know, just in my personality type and how I was like just a dummy and not being able to see. I wasn't sensitive to that part of how pinned down they were because I
Mhm.
couldn't relate to that part because I never had the parents and the rules and the like I signed my own report card. I quit school. I went back to school after I quit because I was like, that was a dumb idea. I had food and friends there. I'm going back. Like I
Right.
went back to school. And so I couldn't relate to that. But now as an adult, you know, being married 35 years, having kid like having a business and having that kind of I was like, oh, I
Mhm.
see. Like
Mhm.
I didn't validate them. I didn't validate that experience and those that being strapped down by these
Right.
lies
Right.
because they are lies.
Mhm.
And my urgency was to get out of my own pain of not
Mhm.
dying. And I think you said the same thing. Do you want to describe that for the person who's listening? Maybe they have thought about having the courage, but where you were 6 months ago, 4 months ago, let's talk about
Yeah.
that. Because
Yeah.
you're all here today, but let's talk about this journey when you and I met.
Mhm.
And I actually had a little bit of ambition about bringing the yoga and breath work and stuff back. I was like, Jade, you'd be like, let's do this. We sat down, we had a long conversation. And then both of
And
us
I
the
was
next
like,
day,
"Nah."
yeah, we were like in it. We were imagining and then the next day, like we were just like,
Yeah.
it was so weird, right? Because that would have driven me for years in the past, but it was a closed door. And man, I went through some grieving with that.
Yeah.
Like I was disappointed. It felt like I was giving up on people because I know the value of it and the benefit. And I knew I could do it. I had done it for so many years, and having you there and like
Mhm.
it's like I just my whole spine just kind of crumbled with it. And it's like this is so interesting because I really want this clinic a thing. I can see my granddaughter coming to do aesthetics. I can see my other one doing IVs. I it's
Mhm.
gone.
Yeah. And the interesting thing, like several years ago, I think in like 2017, when I was in Seattle, Washington, I was working with a shaman and she was helping me through some of my own stuff. And she told me, Jade, you never ever give wisdom to someone who did not ask for it. And I was just like, whoa. She said, it is unwise to try to give wisdom to someone who has not asked for it. And when we were having those conversations like 6 months ago, that's what came to mind. I'm like, if people are not desiring it, if they're not ready for it, it is unwise for me to try to push this onto them. And so it's just like we have to provide what's in demand. And if our services are not in demand, then like we're spinning our wheels, our very like creative God-given
Yeah.
energy, our life force in an area that is not interested in it, and that's okay. But it's like, okay, well, we have to go serve somewhere else, and that's where I landed with it, and I was like, it's okay, because I was feeling the same way as you. I was like, I'm so capable because in human design I have the guilt motivation, and I'm like, I have these tools, and I can do something about this, and so I'm just like, come on, you know. But it wasn't the right place and there wasn't the right
Mm,
time. So I just had to say, you
no.
know what? I give this over with peace. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I mean it passed. I was gonna dump a lot of money. And I'm like, oof, got out of that one. But I also needed to this was before I moved to Florida. Yeah. Didn't move. I got 2 places. I go to work there, I should say.
Mhm.
And it was the same thing. I have to deliver.
Yeah.
Like I have to, but it's almost like it's damaging to the system to not creatively express it,
Mhm.
like to not give this. It's like this ambition, this fire ambition. It's a really big flame and it boils. It's harmful to the body. I don't know if people understand that. Like it was a physical in my chest, in my heart. I have the tools. I have to give it to them. Like I have to. And that's for our own relief. It's not for them. It's to satisfy or dole out this empathy or
Mhm.
sympathy maybe,
Mhm.
that to try to solve this, but they don't have the problem. It's so interesting. It's
Right.
not theirs. It's what
Right.
it's the pain we see, but they're not even experiencing. And oh my God, I could talk about this part all day because it's the healer's triad. It's the thing that most people in this world, this condition, this
Mhm.
placement feel. So once we talked and we decided no, then I invited you to the breakthrough, business breakthrough. It was kinda
Yeah.
like the get unstuck kinda
Yeah.
thing. And what was it in you that because this is where your change came, guys. We're coming with the end of the story. It was not reasonable. It was
Yeah.
not logical. Didn't make sense at all.
No.
And you already had so much history that it wasn't gonna work, that this just was not. What was it? Was it someone else seeing your vision? Was it the belief? What made this irrational or illogical real for you that
Mhm.
actually worked? Like, it was incredible to watch you.
Yeah.
I show your Instagram to everyone. I was like, "Look where you were like you had glasses, you were hiding in the back, you were like your pictures, and all of a sudden you're just like, shoo."
Yeah. No, I think like for me it was the knowing that if I surround myself with highly successful people and people who totally believe in themselves and in me, that's healing, right? Like that gets you unstuck no matter what. Like I truly believe that like community is everything and community with resources and knowledge, even better, you know? So it was just like, all right, yeah, I got to do this because I had no idea where I was going to go. I knew I wanted to be out of, Evangeline Parish and doing my art. I knew I had to because it just it wasn't the path that I saw for myself being there. I wanted to go big. So I was just like, I need this. I need to do something. And I was learning more and more about like the work that you guys were doing. So I said, yeah, like, let's just give it a try. There's nothing really to lose. I'm going to spend some money, but I'm going to gain something from this and I'm going to get better. It was a leap of faith. It was tossing all caution to the wind. Let's go.
What was the turnaround? Like, I don't remember the week, so I'm going to just ask you, like, when you came in, and then we kind of,
Uh-huh.
because some of the stuff was the not fun stuff, the sales, the marketing, the like really
Mhm.
understanding business, not just how to
Yeah.
create art and be an amazing artist, but it's like,
Hmm.
okay, I'm a great hairdresser. Okay, I'm a great massage therapist. I'm a great yoga teacher. That's fine, guys. Like, that is one thing.
Right.
But the business of is
Hmm.
completely different. It's a whole
Hmm.
nother schooling that
Yeah.
most of these healing focused entrepreneurs don't have because they're so good at what they do. They
Hmm.
miss this and then they fail, but they don't fail because they're not good at because they're good at what they do. They fail because they don't know like what vehicle to put it in to take it down to the
Right.
city. Like
Right.
how do I get this to the people? So what was it for you?
Yeah.
What did it
For me,
yeah.
I absolutely got like all of these how to's, and but honestly, for me, what changed everything was like, okay, I have all these resources. Now I need to like implement them. And okay, I'm implementing them, but like I was getting stuck in the mindset. I was like, that part for me was the weakest. And it was when you said, like, do not let your current results like be proof of like of where you're headed or like what you're capable of, something along those lines. And I was just like, oh yeah, like I just gotta keep doing it. Like I just gotta keep repeating the process, being consistent, consistently like doing all the things that I'm learning how to do. And that changed everything. I was understanding better how to run my business as a human design projector, like in a way that worked with my energy levels and with the way that I'm wired. That just changed everything. And I felt like my energy, like I just lightened up. I felt open. I felt expansive and just started attracting people. So it was the mindset piece that I was really lacking in that helped.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Because I like the change. And so I just want to kind of preface this with overnight success. It typically is a moment. It's a
Mhm.
moment. It's little miracle moments of awareness and cognition that create this overnight success. And so, so many of our clients get a return on investment immediately. And
Mhm.
so, someone from the outside, and I say that, and they come in and they use logical sense, will be disappointed and frustrated. But
Yeah.
I'm not lying when I say that when they get it, once they get it, once I think what we're really good at is recognizing, validating,
Mhm.
not making it up, not
Mhm.
lying about it,
Mhm.
literally can see the potential. Like we see the potential in people and we understand a simple system. And so we're so sold on that. But when you get someone from the outside who has invested and not gotten a return, they come in with that story. And then it's like the second wife, right? You got to pay the
Mhm.
consequences and the sins of the first one. And
Mhm.
that I try to say that in advance, like all this stuff that has happened before, where you were, who you are is completely different. We have to like literally shut that door and
Right.
start a new door from here.
Right.
And then be very diligent about explaining things that you have heard that you thought you knew, but didn't
Mhm.
know what it really meant. That's
Yeah.
that part right there. Like, what is marketing? Like for you, it was just getting you in the energy. And I do validate and understand the whole human design thing. I won't get someone get caught in their
Right.
trapped into the limitations of that stuff because that's what typically happens. So I kind of
Right.
like left that in the back, but I'm highly trained, 8 years of this to really understand people
Mhm.
and not to be burnt out. Like, where does burnout come from?
Right.
What's misaligned or how to get in alignment. And then, so there's a lot more to it, seeing the big picture and then having my team who's incredible
Mhm.
for holding this container. I couldn't do it by myself. They're so supportive and they're
Yeah.
good at what they do.
Yeah.
And so whenever someone sees this story like we're about to tell, which is you made a decision and it's like you literally flipped your life. I'm calling like my own experience this year flipping my life. I was like, they can flip houses, we can flip lives.
Yeah.
And so you came in, you made the decision. It was not very far in when you had a defeating moment, but it was
Mm-mm.
recognized and validated.
Yeah, like, I think that, like, that was a huge thing. When I would present a complaint or whatever it was, I was presenting some sort of challenge, you guys are just like, "Yeah, okay." Like, there was no you didn't add to the charge of that. It was just like, yeah, I understand that, we all go through that, and it's part of the process." I was just like, "Oh, okay, so there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not doing something wrong. It's just part of the experience." And after I realized that, I was just like after like, every challenge after that, I was like, "Oh, yeah, it's just part of the experience. Cool. I'm just gonna keep doing it."
Amazing.
Wow, this is, like, a totally different way of seeing my life. Like, not just my business, but my life. It's like, "Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna, like I'm rolling with the punches because I can."
It was incredible. It was an
Yeah.
incredible moment. So I was working, Elena Cardona and I just did like this 10-day, I told you about it when we were out. And I was like, I am seeing this defeat and ruin in people that's holding them back that doesn't have to. It's just an experience that happens in the process, but they weren't expecting it. So they're putting a different label on it. And I said, I want to do this rehab the ruin. Because if you look up the word defeat, it's ruin and ruin. I kind of kept deep diving into that. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God, we can rehab this
Yeah.
and came up with an exact 3-step process, which we took you through. You don't even know it because I have not published it. I haven't even taught it to my coaches yet. I've been working with my leaders who are teaching and showing them, but it's 6 things that cause it and 3 things that fix it. And it's very specific. And so you went on that and immediately rehab your face lit up, your
Mhm.
eyes opened up, your energy
Mhm.
shifted.
Mhm.
I remember where you were saying, I remember the Zoom call. It was one of the Monday morning calls.
Yeah.
And immediately your Instagram changed, your art changed.
Mhm.
You did the Lauren Daigle thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was yeah. I don't know if she got it, but I was just like, "You know what? I don't care. I'm just, like, putting myself out there no matter however I can, that's what I'm gonna do."
We should put that for the cover of this podcast is you and your Lauren Daigle photo. Just put this on the cover and tag her.
Yeah.
Girl, check your mail.
I know that they got it. I know it's delivered and it was signed for. Whether or not she got to the pile through the pile of fan mail, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. But it was like that there was something like you went into service. And
Mhm.
that's where that switch happened. It was like,
Yeah.
what can you give? What can you do? And like I don't know the inside story on that. I just remember us talking about it. And then
Mhm.
I saw it. You did not say, hey, I'm going to do this. I watched you do it. So I'd like to hear about like how that came about, what inspired it, what was your thought process behind that? Because I know this is not over, and that's literally when you started getting these opportunities we're about to talk about.
Mhm. Yeah, it did kinda start with the whole Lauren Daigle painting because as soon as you and Mallory told me about her, I had no idea who she was. I was just like, "Oh, sounds like someone from our area," like the last name. And so I looked her up and immediately I was in awe of her. There was something so special about her and she moved me to tears and I don't even know why, but every single time I watch her, I just cry. Like she's so inspiring to me. And I was like, that's what I want to be to people. I want people to look at my work and I want people to see the way that I am living my life and want to be better people and want to live authentically. And so I was like, I have to start giving to the world so that they can receive that for themselves. Like, not being in this scarcity mindset because, like, I was at that time, I was just like, I need to sell paintings. You need to buy my paintings. Please buy my paintings because I wasn't drawing enough people into me. And so when I made that switch, like, I want to give what I have received from Lauren.
Oh, so good. I
Yeah,
got
so
the
I was
chills.
just like, I know I have a gift, and I started, like, being more intentional about, like, every time I paint, I say, like, what do I need to do to inspire someone with this painting? Like, what needs to happen? So from that point on, I was just like, this is what I do. And someone out there is going to love it, and someone out there, like, it's going to change someone.
I have a request for you to repeat that. It felt so good when you said it. When
What
you
I like, which part?
the part where you said, I'm gonna give back to her what she gave to me.
Yeah, I want to give what I received from her because it was so powerful. It was just so like heart opening that I'm like, this is what I want to give.
That's the power of the creator. That right
Hmm.
there is the power of the creator.
Yeah.
That opens up and moves into the gratitude and the openness. And now I can see why that made such a difference. It was
Yeah.
because it was done with so, we talk about death and grieving. And the reason that it's like so painful when we go into this emotional stuff is because it's love that has nowhere to go. And
Mm,
that's gratitude of it. Like, I am so grateful for what she gave me that I have to give it back. So I had to pour it into art because it's
yes.
love that had no place to go unless I create the canvas for it to go on.
Yes. Yeah. The only defining factor of love is that it has to be shared. If it's not shared, it's not really doing its purpose.
And grief has no place. They're not here anymore.
Right.
It can't land. And this is the other side of that, which I hadn't really considered in this way, but I can feel it when you said it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Ah.
But
And
isn't
then
that like, that's what you're doing, like with your coaching? Like you were given that, and you're just like, I have to share this. Like I've seen you say that so many times. I'm just like, you're so excited to give to other people.
it's incredible to be trapped and someone cut the chains. Someone
Hmm.
cut the freaking chains. Like someone opened the door. Someone with getting into this tangled mess and just did,
Yep.
and all of a
Yep.
sudden their faces change, their eyes light up. I'm addicted. I don't care to do anything else. Just want to see the transformation. And
Yeah.
I will stay as long as I need to watch it happen. And I watched it happen in you. And it's
Hmm.
visible on your social media page. Proof. You and
And
Caitlin Saunier, we
yeah.
watched Caitlin erupt. You guys have that same flowy energy too.
Yeah.
There's like 4 of you in my world. You're all my kids' age, which is interesting because they don't get me. But all of you are projectors, same age, same desire to serve, same, like all interested in yoga and holistic wellness. It's incredible, like to see the 4 of you together. And I'm always showing your pages to each other, and
Hmm.
it creates that inspiration. But Lauren Daigle is the same. It's that same
Yeah.
thing. So there's something with this. I don't know what it is for anyone else, but for me, you guys happen to come into my life at different stages, but I very clearly see it. I told Caitlin this last week. I was like, if you get new followers, I've got people checking out your page and seeing the difference.
Yeah. And
So
like,
go ahead.
sorry, go ahead, Kim.
I don't have, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say you've watched this transformation, and I feel like I'm about to hit like another like level up. I feel it coming. Like I'm being asked to do more, and I'm like, okay, like cool. I'm just gonna strap in. Let's go. And it's
Well,
just
you're
like it feels so nice to know that I do have people in my life who are just like, yeah, you can do it. Like they're I guess like I had to give myself that permission. I had to say I can for once in my life. And now that's being reflected back to me. Like, yeah, you actually can because you've shown us that you can. So we're going to keep backing you.
well, and regulating the nervous system to be able to receive. I don't think people give
Yeah.
credit to that. And it's
Yeah.
such a big part of what we do in the mind body coaching is so it's be, do, have. So you
Hmm.
had to be what you were. You be the artist. You became the artist.
Hmm.
You did the art.
Hmm.
You have that beingness.
Yeah.
The part that most people miss is that they have to give themselves permission to have the havingness itself. You have to grant permission for. And when it's been taken from us, from our environment, from our parents, from our teachers, from our school, whatever, you can't have that. Jade,
Yeah.
you can't have that.
Yeah.
You can't have that. Was
But that's what I
instilled.
be. That's what
Yeah,
I
that's right.
be. you know?
Yeah. And so the dissonance is I can't have it, so I can't be it, so I don't do it. And when we're working with new coaches and new entrepreneurs and business owners, and they can't receive because they're still in the you can't have according to whoever set that rule or standard, it's
Hmm.
a whole nother part that we have to work through before we can actually get the business steps to work. Because you were doing the business steps, they weren't working because you
Right.
didn't have this open. And so you can get the flood coming at you, but then your door's closed. Can't receive it. And so then you push the flood away and you reject and you can't see that it's you doing it. And man, people get so offended when we say you created that. You created that rejection. You created that. And they were like, no, no. Yes, we create everything. And if you don't believe that, you can create nothing.
Exactly.
And it goes all into the religion thing. And it's like, that's not what we're saying. It's misunderstood. And it goes back to the wise woman.
Right.
No, don't throw diamonds to the swine because they're just going to ruffle in the mud. Like
Yep.
they cannot receive it. They're not asking for it. So wait to respond. Wait. It's just a waiting, but it's so painful when we see the suffering. But Lauren didn't make it big on her first song, So
Hmm.
going back to the overnight success that
Yeah.
we started this circle at. Same with me. This was like 30 years before I actually got to the point to where I was like 8, 10 years ago. It There was a lot of unknowing that had to happen. I had to unknow what I knew.
Hmm.
And then I had to put myself in position and it is safe to receive. So I don't know how that felt for you. It's safe to receive. It's safe to receive. It's safe to get recognition. It's safe to
Yeah.
be seen. It's safe to be heard. It's safe to receive money. It's safe to be desired. That is not
I
freaking
am
safe.
not a bad person if I'm successful. I'm not a bad person if I have money. I'm not a bad person if I'm recognized. I'm not above anyone else if I'm living the life that I want. And because that was my thing, like, don't be snobby. Don't think you're better than anyone else. Because in school, that's what, some people would say, like, oh, you just think you're better than everybody else. Or you're like highfalutin. And so I was just like, well, I don't want people thinking that I think I'm better than them. So I'm going to play small. Nah. No. Like, I will never think I'm better than anybody else, but I'm not playing small anymore. Like, you can come up here and meet me. Like, come on. I want you to come along with me, but I'm not staying back.
Well, and it's the thing is, it's like almost being punished. Like, oh, you're thin, you're pretty,
Mhm.
you move the ease, you got like, and so there's this in them, their own interpretation of themselves compared to that and puts
Yeah.
that out. And once we realize that this mirror stuff that's going on, that to some degree we didn't feel worthy of it, or for me, if I have it, it's taking from them because that was
Yeah.
the story. And
Mm.
when we realize that is not true, you having that does not take anything from them. They're taking from themselves. They're taking from these stories, from this environment, from their family, but I being wealthy, I being healthy, I being successful takes nothing. It actually gives to the world by example. It
Right.
actually gives permission. It gives inspiration. That's where I was all this time. Like that,
Yeah.
you shouldn't take from people. You shouldn't charge for that. You shouldn't you're taking, like they're struggling, you're taking from them
Right.
instead of you're giving them an opportunity. That was a huge shift for me. If we
Yeah.
didn't give you the opportunity to invest, you wouldn't have had the opportunity to grow, to be supported, to put yourself out there and to now be an inspiration for someone else.
Mhm.
So let's talk about that. So in the
Yeah.
meantime, you're in Florida, you're going for graduation, and let's
Mhm.
just pick up from there and from where you are then to now, today specifically.
Okay. Yeah. So I went to my graduation from my art institute in Sarasota, Florida, and got the surprise of a lifetime. I called something in to me, I guess, but I now have gallery representation in Cincinnati, Ohio. I was chosen among all my peers in my art institute to be represented for the next year. And I knew in that moment that like my life was changing. It was going down a completely different path, and not a completely different, but the path that I most desired. I'll say that. And I felt like I was just lit up for the next, like, few weeks, and I have this new sense of confidence in myself. I've had a few extra calls like with you guys and talking me through this and cheering me on and still making sure I'm like in the good mindset and I'm doing all the things I need to do. And yeah, I'm doing an art festival in Lafayette, Louisiana. This coming week, I am doing another art festival in Austin, Texas. Have gallery representation. I'm doing like commissions for a few people in New York. Yeah, so it's just like things are moving. And I'm just excited because I feel like it's not going to stop. I was doing an Instagram live with my institute yesterday and they asked me like, would you mind sharing how much money you've made with your art in the last 6 months? And I was like, yeah, I've made 12 grand. And like for a newly blossoming artist, like 10 grand is the goal for the first year. I've made 12 in 6 months. So for me, I'm just like, I'm doing it, you know? So yeah, I think it's only going to go up from here. I'm really excited.
So you have representation for an
Hmm.
entire year
Hmm.
in, you said Ohio,
Yeah, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You have clients in New York. You got an opportunity too. You got a new
Yeah,
opportunity.
I'm going to be an art coach with my art institute now, so I'm giving back to the students who have the same dream as me, which is amazing. Yeah.
You've brought in $12,000
Hmm.
and you had to move and you had a job change. Like there's so
Yeah.
much in this little amount of time.
Yeah. And I'm into art residencies right now. And I'm part of the Bare Walls program with one of my art residencies, which puts my art in like businesses all around the region. My reach is growing and my network is growing, and that feels really nice to me.
And what does today represent your final hour of?
Yeah, today was my last day at my part-time job, and so now I'm like closing the door on the past. I'm just like fully stepping into to being an artist. And
Time artist.
yeah. Feels, I mean, like 2.5 years ago, I didn't even like dream of doing this. Now I'm a full-time artist actually making money, like making a living off of it. It's so exciting.
I mean, when I see the changes, like I'm even taken back because I know and I believe and I see it, but I also know the resistance and how strong the resistance is.
Hmm.
And I would say this past year, you guys like making huge, massive jumps very quickly because of the team. I have the vision, but it's the team that helps. Like it
Hmm.
really is what we brought together. It took us 8 years to build this out so that there's complete support on every angle that you could
Hmm.
possibly think of. But to watch experience the expansion firsthand and see it and it being publicly visible because in the past people weren't on social media this way. We weren't watching the transformation the way that we can
Right.
see it for an artist or the body image or the like everything changing. So it has been an inspiration for me. I'm just going to tell you because I went through my own resistance of my next level. You'll feel this too every time you go to the next.
Hmm.
It's like you get on a new level as if you're playing a video game. And, that level one, you keep falling in the same stupid hole until you finally figure out to go around the damn hole. Just take the bridge. And then the next and the next. And then you get to one, and all of a sudden they come out from behind the bush, like you're ambushed from behind the bush. It's something you've never experienced before,
Yeah.
didn't know. They're in camouflage. And you get away from them and you fall down a damn hole.
Yep.
Oh. And I have to keep reminding myself this is the game.
Yes.
But this is what others are avoiding.
Yes.
And I can't go back to that first level. I can't
Mhm.
just keep going around that same hole. I'm gonna like hurt myself.
Yeah.
And that feels like death.
I would rather just lay down and just be like, take me now, because what's the point of all this, you know? It's like, no, I want to be like, I want to be one of those cool players in the game, you know? Like, I want to be the one who like builds stuff and I don't know, like makes new courses for everyone else. I don't know.
Yeah. What do you see for your future? So now you have a new vision to cast because that door's closed. You're here. You're now, we
Yeah.
say be, do,
Hmm.
have,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's actually coming from what is the target? How will you get there? So you knew you're like, I want to be an artist. Like, I want to be an artist making money.
Mhm.
Okay, this is what you need to do. Here's the math and here's the steps. You did that. And then, but you have to become the future first.
Yeah.
And then you have to cut. What did you have to cut to hit that? What did you have to get rid of? What did you have to quit? Because those who miss this part don't see that it's the thing that they're missing. That old identity has to be gone. Old habits have to be gone. Old thinking has to be gone. You had to get rid of money. You have to get rid of time. There are things you had to give up.
I had to give up money, and I chose to give up more money than I wanted to because I wanted to go to the next level. So I chose to give up money. I chose to give up time with my friends and family. I chose to give up all of the things that were not moving me towards my goal. I think it was you that introduced this to me. Looking at all your tasks in the day or all the things that you normally do, is this moving me closer towards my goal? No, okay, well, like, that's not priority. So it was shifting my mindset into I am now a businesswoman. I am now a business owner. I need to act like it. And a business owner doesn't take a 2, 3 hour hiking trips when she knows that she has like a deadline coming up. Those are the things I used to do, but now this is my priority because this is going to take me to where I want to be in my life. I know like I'm sensing this leveling up because I already made a goal. I already spoke it out into the universe to a friend. I was like, in 2 years, I'm going to be at Art Basel in Paris. And in 2 years, I'm going to be hosting retreats abroad, like art retreats abroad. I'm going to be doing that.
And I'll be on the cover of what let's go
Some
for
sort
it.
of
I've
art
got that one for
magazine.
you if you don't have it. We're definitely getting there.
Yeah. But it wasn't just like things in my life, like physical things or time that I had to sacrifice. It was like all those beliefs, like every little remnant of every belief of my old self. Like I completely had to shed my skin and say, is this the mindset of a successful business owner? Nope. Okay, cool. It's gone. I am willingly giving that up. And it feels great,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
you're thinking like, okay, if I want to make money, is this thing I'm doing right here revenue generating? Like, will it take me there? If it's about being known and
Mhm.
I'm choosing to watch Netflix and not be on social media, is that taking me there? Like, it's the little minor
Right.
ones that I think
Right.
create the biggest compound
Mhm.
effect that get
Mhm.
missed. Like if we
Yeah.
would have done this going into the past and then done the yoga and the breath work, like we were going backwards.
Right.
We're like, we're not getting where we want to go. Let's
Right.
just settle and make the best of what's here. Let's just take whatever. But then you had what, 50 people sign up and 2 show up? Like how much beating up or do we
Yeah.
have to expose ourselves to?
Yeah. And it's just like, I think for me, it was just like, oh, well, is it because I'm like not trying hard enough? It's like, no, actually, my energy is not there. And I think people are picking up on that. Like, I had to own that. I was like, my passion is like no longer here, like providing this for this community. And that was totally fine. So it was just like admitting that to myself and just moving on.
Confrontation, man. That's how I ended up with 2 pedicure chairs back here because I went back. Because that's my tendency. When someone says, "What do you do when you feel that way?" I go backwards to what used to work. The
Yep.
thing that I thought about for years giving up, like I
Yeah.
suddenly go backwards to it.
It's comfortable.
Oh, I don't know how comfortable it is, but they're still sitting there. Someone please come get them. Right, all of this whole building has been the walls have been torn down, it's been added on, it's been but right now we're like, "Okay, we're gonna create a recording studio," and then I went to
Mhm.
Florida. I was like, "I don't know if I don't feel received, I don't know what el like, there's a desire, but then there's a desire on my part to serve, but there's not a desire to receive what I wanna
Right.
serve, and I think
Right.
that's the hard part, is
Yeah.
being so committed and loyal. It
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
there's a grief, there's a sadness, because I saw my future, like my retirement future, still
Mhm.
leading yoga classes. Like
Mhm.
I saw that as a slow pace just to stay mobile. This is next door to my home, so I knew I'd be able to use the building. I
Mhm.
saw it. I saw like all the things that I wanted to go with it for myself that other people would. And man, I'm living in the past because I'm remembering it was great being the community hub, and hosting that space and the connections.
Yeah.
Now the disinterest.
What helps me to think of is if I'm constantly putting in this energy and I'm constantly not receiving anything in return, in my mind, that's a closed door. And I'm like,
Mhm.
God has closed this door for me and wants me to choose another door. We said that, okay, you can't let your current results be proof of like where you're
Mhm.
heading, but like if it's consistently, constantly, like you're not getting back, maybe I should like think about this. Maybe I should take another route because you know what I'm saying? Like you're not moving forward.
Yeah, and you didn't learn that on the first try.
Mm-mm.
That's the wisdom is
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I know what this like, we hit it within how many hours? It didn't take long at all for us to realize it. Like, all of a sudden, our conversation just went, "Burp."
Yeah.
We were like, "Choo, choo, choo." Burp.
We were just like, "What about this? Well, what about that? We could do that." And then we had the
Exhausted.
realization
We both just did, "Bump."
simultaneously. Yeah, we were like, "Actually, no,
Yeah,
that's
we
never
need
gonna
to leave
work."
now. Gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. I've had that experience with Linda in here because she was here for 6 years, and we had a wall. The wall was right here, and I would put my visions on the wall with sticky notes, and I'd paint, like,
Mhm.
just, like, back here, and there was, like, nothing. There was nothing going on. I was like, "What are we doing?" And Linda's like, "Well, what's next?" And I looked at that wall. I had taken everything down, but I hadn't put anything else up, and I was
Oh.
like, "Oh, shit, we don't have anything for the future." Like, we're not casting.
Mhm.
And so she's like, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I went back into this, helping millions of people through mind, body, well, like I just went, I know the vision so well. I know what I'm here for.
Mhm.
And it took, matter of fact, the podcast is called Belief Capacity. This is how long ago it was on my thing. I looked at her and I was like, that lasted about 13 seconds. My belief is not strong enough. Like something happened
Yeah.
between setting that vision, setting and being so sure about it, and then having defeat.
Mhm.
And now when I cast it, it was weak. And that's what
Yeah.
happened with you and I. We
Yeah.
tried to cast it, but it was weak. It was like there was a flame, but
Yeah.
it didn't have the wind.
You're
Didn't feel
trying to
like
make a fire with wet
yeah,
wood.
yeah.
Wet wood doesn't make a fire.
And so I was like, "Oh, like the belief so you have to have the vision, you have to have the belief, and then you have to have the energy to support it
Mhm.
so that you can like have that compound movement until it goes." I don't know how long ago that was, but I'll never forget that day. It was so weird to just feel that void
Mhm.
and then to have that moment. And maybe it was more than 13 seconds, but Linda can correct me. It wasn't very much more. That it just poof, and it was an experience, it was experiences that we had with people in the community that brought, and it was just that, it was just imprinted in the body. I
Mhm.
hadn't processed it fully and moved through the grief of it, and now it's back. Now it's
Mhm.
back bigger than ever, like, that is what has happened, and I'm like, "I'll do free coach week every week, like, I'm gonna get some stuff moving."
Nice.
Especially watching your success and the client's success, the ones that are in right now, brand new coaches, like, gonna hit 6 figures. We have Caitlin, Ayurvedic practitioners at 6 figures, like, holy smoke.
Right.
Some guys around here are not making 6 figures offshore. Like,
Right.
we gotta put that into perspective.
Yeah.
So, the healing world is a lucrative business. It is. We have evidence, we have proof. The healing arts is.
Mhm.
Coaching is. Like, we can do this, we are doing this, we have done this.
Yeah.
It is reality.
Yes.
We just can't let the downers come and piss on our fire. We're like blowing on it. That wasn't nice. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm not sorry.
We
All
just
right,
have to put one of those big shop fans, so when they
yes,
try to come and piss, it just goes that way.
that's right. Gets
You don't have
going in the
access.
wind. All right, so let's wrap this up with where can they find you? Where are you? Okay, I already got that you're going to be at Art Basel in Paris, and I'm holding you to it. Believe me,
Okay.
anyone who has worked with me knows that when I hold beliefs happen, it just does. You're toast. But I need to make sure that your vision for the cover is still there, and I'm not holding that if you because you didn't say it, I said it.
For the co what wait,
I don't know what that's
the
gonna look like. I
magazine
don't know
cover?
where it's gonna come from, but we just know that there's a request in the for this.
I'll get more clarity on that.
Don't don't
Yeah.
need to know who or where or when. It's just done.
Yeah.
You know, Mallory is in oh my gosh, how many publications, like between books, web.
Really?
Yeah, she's the photos that she takes for our clients, and Emily with the branding.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's over 50 companies, like new business owners and coaches that we've branded. And Mallory would have to answer on this and she can share it. But the photos that she has taken whenever we do events and she does the headshots or the
Mhm.
branding, stuff. Yeah, they've been published quite a bit.
That's amazing. Go, Mal. That's exciting.
My little youngins. My
Yes.
little local youngins, whenever like people ask, where did you find Mallory? And I was like, I knew Mallory before she knew Mallory. Like I knew
Yeah.
her when her mother knew her. She's like a mile down the road when she was just a little infant. But I love that you guys are all in that same age because you're like, it's out with us, it's
Mm.
it's time for you guys to take this position of leadership and possibility and inspiration. They don't want to hear from the old fogies.
But the old fogies have the wisdom. Like that's who we're learning from, you know?
But the wisdom, like for me personally, the wisdom is now for the leaders. The wisdom is
Hmm.
now it's not for the public. Like it's just
Hmm.
different because
Yeah.
when I try to do that with the public and they haven't been through these experiences of failure and they receive
Hmm.
it differently.
Hmm.
And then it creates this separation. And so that's a discipline on my part. I get a
Hmm.
little too friendly, a little too chummy. I'm hanging out on the phone,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I'm in this state that I live in, and I'm not in coach mode on those calls. And
Mm.
that's been a big learning curve for me that I have not mastered yet.
Hmm.
And so it does feel like and if we're talking about like human design and the hermits, being a 6'2" off the roof, they
Yeah.
have to come and ask me for it. I can't
Yeah.
send it out. It doesn't land well and it
Yeah.
creates harm.
Hmm.
It creates harm and defeat because the reception is in a different light. It's misunderstood. It's screwed.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that word. Not
Skewed.
skewed, not screwed. It's skewed. I've had to really sit with this for the last 18 months. I've been working through this and I didn't understand it because I was innocently wounded by it and what's
Mhm.
happening. And I now have the understanding that there was, yep, this exact thing you were talking about with the woman told you is what was going on. And
Yeah.
that's on me. It's not on them. It's on me. And it's
Mhm.
being too friendly, too casual, and then being in this state, that it's just different.
Yeah.
As I can say, not being on a call, wearing the hat, being chum. You've talked with me when I'm just like saying anything and everything and not guarded and,
Yeah. I think we can both get that way, but I think we both like we kind of come back to like, okay, professional hats back on. Let's go,
yes,
you know?
I love it. I want to be
Yeah.
able to play in that space with someone who can handle all of my hats. When I can do that with Mallory and Monique or you, or it's such a luxury that I can be professional and then I can be
Yes.
off-putting and I'm not judged by it. I'm like, I have this brain, this with these two minds that do
Yeah.
crazy things. And I love to be funny, but it's not
Mhm.
always funny.
You have a unique humor, and I appreciate it.
Yes. All right. Tell them where to find you. Sorry, I asked the question and then I kept talking. Where to find you, where you're going to be. Cast your future, my friend.
Yeah. You can find me at JadeDesHotel.com. That's JADEDESHOTEL.com. I'm on Instagram at jade.deshotel, and you can find me on Facebook. This coming weekend, if any of you in the Lafayette, Louisiana area are going to be around, I will be in River Ranch at the Big Easel Art Festival. My studio is at Basin Arts in Lafayette, so anyone is welcome to stop by during our opening hours.
Do they have a Instagram page also that we can
They
link to?
do.
Okay, so we'll
Yes.
link Jade's Instagram and we will link the studio that she is
Mhm.
currently at and the studio that you have the year. Do you want to be
Yes.
like how
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
want to
yeah.
do that? So that way you can follow and see what she has going on and what she's producing. And then we can follow her to Paris.
Yee-hoo. Hold me accountable, y'all. I'm gonna do it.
Did y'all hear that, y'all?
I had to insert it somewhere.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Share it with a friend. If you know someone who is struggling with identity and wanting to get themselves out there and kind of like fumbling through this permission and purpose, share it with them.
I can't to I did. Let's go.
I can't to I did.
Thanks for listening to this episode of More Than Mindset.